Yeah, hello. I want to make a video about sick men. On the one hand, they don't like a single pejorative word to describe a bad man. For example, the word creep. Women actually need that word to describe when they're being harassed by someone who's posing a threat to them, anything ranging from discomfort to physical assault, maybe even death. And yet, some men, sick men, who can't understand the need for safety or don't respect it, than other people's need for safety, won't tolerate a single pejorative description of their sex. um, yes, I love you too, good girl. I love you. Good girl. Darling. So, even though it could help somebody, for example, if they need to, in emergencies, describe somebody as bothering them, like, help, I've been bothered by a creep or something like that. Instead, they would have to go into some sort of description about bad men and dangerous situations, which would take longer and possibly endanger them. So it's really bad that we don't have a range of words that we could quickly use to describe various situations, but we haven't. Which is absolute proof that this society is totally controlled by sickos, probably sick men. Because we have a lot of insulting words for women who are perceived to be bad, mostly of sexual type, like slag, or slut, or things like that. Slut actually means dirty, but it applies to women because women are seen as having the role of cleaning in society. So, which is another way of putting them down. It's like saying, you know what I mean. It's just another insult, basically. Telling people they're menial manual workers, and they're not even good at that kind of thing, although these days it has sexual overtones as well. So there are a lot of insulting words for women, and women they aren't even implying that we're a danger to anyone, unless you might say bunny boiler or stalker. But that can apply to men as well. So there's nothing really that singles out women as being dangerous, because we're not. But the word creep could imply that someone's dangerous and posing a threat to someone, but that is disallowed. So who has such total control over the entire English language amongst the whole population of the Western world, and perhaps across the entire planet? Well, men have. Do all men know this, or is it just some? It could just be some, We're now finding out that some people control others, like the Illuminati. They're not all of us, not willingly or knowingly anyway. Although we're all accidentally part of the Illuminati every time we do something like insulting each other in ways that they condone. Everything really is what they condone. They're sick, really. They're total control freaks. If you think about it, they may be controlling every aspect of your life. If they control which words you use and define how you use them, what they mean, then they're controlling your thoughts, really, in a way, because you're not able to speak to some extent. Your speech is limited by what they've defined words as. So, So anyway, it seems to be male obsessives who are the Illuminati and in control even of the words we use and what we mean by them. Women keep trying to get this word creep into common use as a single definition of a man who's behaving abusively, either because he's like that or because he's made a mistake and not given it up yet or something like that, picked on somebody who wasn't interested and got annoyed when they didn't like him or something like that, maybe they called him a creep because they didn't like him or something, and he's got a bit annoyed about it or something, or because, they are genuinely nasty people. But the point is, women do need a range of words to describe various situations quickly, really. But you can see how totally without power we are in society, in that we have to keep fighting for this single one. Really, I wish the Oxford English Dictionary would do something politically correct for us and define it in one single way as a male behaving in an obnoxious fashion or something like that. The Illuminati and sick men keep redefining it as someone who is creeping, i.e. crawling, that is taking a low position, perhaps being nice to you or something like that. Perhaps saying something nice like, "Can I buy you a drink?" or something like that, Not being nasty, taking a nice approach or something. Or holding a door open for you, or just generally being a nice person. That's what they've defined as a creep. Because they seem to, there's an awful lot of evil in the world today, and they seem to have decided that they're going to go the whole hog and just be absolutely evil everywhere to everyone and just totally mess up the world. It's crazy. You see all these Illuminati symbols being flashed by pop stars and that. Oh, it's awful. You may have heard of Alex Jones. You could check him out on YouTube. Google, Google. Apparently they're involved in sick stuff too. Anyway, nasty people keep wanting to redefine the word creep as an insult to mean somebody who's being nice, which they want to turn into an insult. So the only way you can be good is by being bad, and the only way you can be nice is by being horrible to women. So that's one thing sick men have done. They've got rid of all but one word that women so need that they cling to and keep using and redefining to the way they mean it to try and help themselves. And they're trying to get rid of that. They just literally will not allow men to have a word that describes a bad man as such. They will not have a word to describe a bad man. They will not accept that there can be bad men. It's like Negroes. They will not accept that they can be racist. There's no such thing as a racist Negro. They just won't accept that such a person can exist. So if you say bigot, for example, bigot automatically excludes anyone non-white. Only white people can be bigots, that kind of thing, which is bigoted in itself, obviously. Yeah, so anyway, you get what I mean by that, really. Language is being defined by somebody, some people. When you catch those people as individuals doing these things, they are the controllers and the Illuminati. You've spotted one. You really have spotted one. You could even get their name and details and put them in a public database, and we could start building up some kind of picture of the Illuminati. We might find they're mostly Jewish or mostly rich or mostly men and so on. Perhaps finding out their positions in society, which is probably in public service, where they have power over people and can exercise power over people. Or as employers, where again they can choose who can and can't earn a living, things like that. It would be very interesting to know who they are anyway. Who knows what advantages we might gain by giving ourselves intelligence on them. We should really set up databases for this kind of thing. And try and include algorithms to remove suspect data, and so on, things like that. I'm not an expert at that kind of thing, so I can't really recommend very much about it because I don't know very much about it. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say about sick men is that they seem to want to define every male name as a euphemism for the penis. Thomas, Peter, everything, I think now, almost. Or soon, in a few years' time, every male name is going to be a euphemism for penis, which is really stupid and sick. One is even a euphemism for a toilet, John, or homosexual or something, I don't know. The most innocent word in the English language, the word gay, many people think it's the most innocent word in the English language, which it is really, has been redefined to mean homosexual. And some homosexuals have openly said in the mainstream media that they want the word to be used solely to mean homosexual. So they chose the most innocent word to destroy as some kind of sacrifice to steal its identity. And then they want people to think they're nice. And the way this was said by these people was with a tone of assertion in their voice, as if they'd like really to be dictatorial about it. You know what that means? Dictatorial means you get done if you don't do what they say. Very invasive. Very offensive. Insane, really, making you destroy one of the sweetest words in your vocabulary so that you can be forced to redefine it as an illness, which is what homosexuality is, because it's abnormal. I'm not being nasty, it just is. It just is an illness. There you go. I think the people who rule society probably are sick men. Really. If you can't call your child anything, if it's a boy, without also calling him penis, then that's sick. A lot of people won't like that, you know. I know a lot of men have a crude sense of humour, but not all of them are going to find that amusing. And I know I don't, and a lot of women won't, and a lot of boys won't. It's almost like a sexual abuse of every boy. It is said that homosexuals are more likely to be paedophiles than heterosexual men or women, so maybe that has something to do with it again. Maybe there is a homosexual mafia. They are said to be in Parliament in the UK, a homosexual mafia. Maybe there is, and they do indeed want to sexually abuse every male. It may be a dream come true for them if they can refer, on one level of consciousness that they might have, to every male, including every little boy, as penis. It's quite disgusting, really. Just, I say resist it. Utterly resist it the whole time. Completely resist it. Challenge these things and push them back. This is what the PC crowd have been doing to us. They've been pushing us back. Pushing our psychologies back. Squashing us, actually. Making for a rebound. They're too abnormal to understand normal psychology. They don't know that we rebound. We have too much and react. Or maybe they do know and don't care, because they're not normal enough to care. But anyway, we do have to push back. You don't want to raise your child in a world where every male name, every time you speak a male name, you're saying penis. It's not nice. It's not a nice way to live. So these people are probably are sick men, the Illuminati. And in my opinion, we ought to get rid of them. They say that genes have been found which are implicated in or cause homosexuality. Well, that's an illness. Let's allow people to test for it and remove it at the embryonic stage. These people are probably psychopaths as well. And that can be shown on a brain scan. A apparently homosexuality can as well, because homosexuals would be more interested in pictures of their own gender. You know, you can test for these things. You can see them on brain scans and things. Psychopaths apparently have about 80% of their brain only just functioning above dead. Very low functioning. So they have a very different psychology to the rest of us. They have very basic emotional functioning. They only have fear and anger, which are related to primitive instincts for survival. And apparently they live their life in a kind of dream state. And are only capable of being selfish because they have this primitive psychology. And are very dangerous as a result. Very dangerous people. So what we have is normal people being controlled by sick people, when really we should be treating them in mental hospitals, not taking our orders from them. And we should be deselecting them as embryos, because they're a huge amount of trouble. Apparently psychopaths are about 4% of the population across the world in every different society. And apparently that's the ratio of homosexuals as well. I wonder if homosexuality and psychopathy are different manifestations of the same illness. Really. Maybe they are, I don't know. Maybe some of the genes are the same. Some of the ill genes. So basically, I think the best thing for society would be to allow people who have these illnesses, these dangerous illnesses, running in their families, to allow them to have free reproductive treatment at public expense, so that they can have children that are normal by deselecting any sick embryos if they make any. I think it would be by far the best thing to do for the whole of society, and would be well worth any money it cost. This would be resisted, though, by powerful people, because they're the ones whose existence would be threatened by it. Apparently, there's a homosexual cabal in Parliament. These people know that they're not like the rest of us, and they make a special effort to survive, which means getting power, basically. So apparently there's a homosexual cabal in Parliament in the UK. But apparently across the world, psychopaths gravitate, they say, towards wealth and power. So they're more likely to be found in powerful positions than in non-powerful ones. The result of this being that normal people, when they deal with powerful people, or people in positions of power in their lives, deal with an abnormally high ratio of dangerous and sick people in powerful positions in their lives. So I just advocate pushing past all of their resistance, or having a revolution, and determining that things won't go wrong in future by immediately instituting a public policy allowing people to deselect their sick embryos, particularly widely dangerous people like psychopaths, because apparently they're the people who, for example, would start wars just to sell arms, if they sell arms, or to get rebuilding contracts in the countries that have been warred with for the money, for the contract, for the money from the contracts. So they're heartless, basically. They don't have the brain functions that allow niceness, that would allow them to be nice people. So they're not nice people. So that's how to stop things going bad again after a revolution. Immediately institute, at public expense, the right to deselect, to reproductive assistance, so that people can, if they want to, deselect sick embryos and have normal children. Over time, there would be fewer and fewer of these dangerous individuals around in society, and eventually there would be none. So I say let's do that. Let's rid ourselves of these sick people, and then we won't even need words like creep. They can be consigned to history. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.